really? I was like, yeah, I'm also a real model. And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, how many followers do you have? And I was like, total? And he was like, yeah. I was like, 10K. And he was like, no, you're lying. I have 1,500. And I was like, okay. And then he made me show his. It was so awkward.
I hate these new niggas.
And then he was like, you're famous. I was like, I'm not. Famous people have more than 10K.
He think you famous, man. Oh shit, I gotta plug this shit in. If you listening right now, me and Hala, we was supposed to start at 5 or 5:30. We've been over here talking the whole fucking time. Because that's what we do.
As always, y'all.
As always. Our conversations always we just talk about random shit. That's why when you hit me up earlier and you was like, oh, let's find a third outfit because I feel like we shoot fast. I'm like, well, we talk for like 30 minutes. We talk so fucking much.
I didn't think about that.
Hala had an interesting question for me. She goes, if you could do this full time, I bet you would. But I'm not going to tell nobody your secret. I was like, fuck yeah. Let me tell you something. For you photographers out there that really do hate me, which I love all of y'all, if you can get me a radio gig or some type of gig where I can talk,
he'll quit.
I quit.
He'll quit.
I quit today.
He'll quit yesterday. He'll quit yesterday.
So we go to the gas station. Hala makes me.
Always.
She was trying to get me to drink. The first time we shot, you tried to get me to drink.
Gavin,
you run the Celsius.
I was drunk the first time we shot.
We killed that. That shit was fire though.
But we like vibed immediately though.
Absolutely.
I came in, I was like, hey, how are you? He was like, oh shit, hey, how are you? And we was da-da-da-da-da from first time.
Question. Do you ever feel like, we know, we talked about earlier, we can kind of get into people sometimes meet you and they think that you're being fake. But sometimes when you are having like, maybe it's not the greatest day or you just want to be chill that day, do you feel like sometimes people meet you and they expect you to be like over the top and it's kind of bothersome?
No, I have never shot with someone. Every time I shoot with someone, they say my energy is good as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I think people, and they explain, I've never shot with someone with energy like you. That is true. Time. And I just got my first like signed modeling gig and they said the same thing. My agent called me and said they said your energy was something like they've never seen. So it's usually not that. And so even when my energy is low, it's high, I guess, in comparison to other people.
To other people.
But I guess that's probably why it comes off as fake. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if I'm always like this and it's blah, 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 it could seem like a facade, I guess.
That's true. I can see that. I've never gotten that from you, but I can understand how other people, I guess for me, it's weird when you out there and people, they come up to me, they run up to me and you met my wife. She's chill. Too chill sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And she just mellow. And then they'll come up to me and I'm like, I'm just with my wife. I'm hanging out. And then they look at me and be like, okay. Well, on Instagram, you're loud, you're crazy, you're ignorant, you say stupid shit all the time. And I'm kind of like, it's Monday and it's 10:30 in the morning. Did you burp?
I did. That was so embarrassing. But imagine, I guess, if your wife was in business situations, because I'm sure she's more vocal at her job. You know what I mean? Like, that's her comfort zone. So imagine if she was a model, though, and probably needed to show up to set with energy, but had that energy. I think that's how a lot of models are, though. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, your wife, I know, performs at her job.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, at her job, she's not going to be that quiet. But, of course, if she's outside of her element and she don't want to be there or whatever the case, she ain't going to be like that. But I think a lot of models come to set like that. Vice versa with photographers.
Yeah.
And then I think if people have those experiences, they think that's what it's like.
Before we get started, do you want to tell the people that we're not beefing? We'll get to that because we got to talk about that.
Nah, me and Gavin beefing.
Yeah. If you believe that, then okay. If the people believe that we're beefing, then fuck it. We just got to deal with that. Before we get started, hold on. I got to find a song. Hold on. We did an interview last night together. You cussed me out because
at the end, you was getting a little crazy, but she ain't let me talk.
She did.
You said some shit at the end. I was like, and I know you. I was like, I think he threw that into set, and she didn't let me talk. I was like, the whole time, I was like, the fuck is this nigga saying?
So the smartest part when you're doing something and you know you're running out of time, you say what you want to say at the very end, and you know they're gonna cut us off.
Oh, I'm sick.
So what happened was, and we're gonna talk about this, but we were doing an interview yesterday, and so I'm like, we're agreeing too much, so I gotta say something to spice this shit up. And so I know what I said. That I was like, and I saw her face.
Me or the host?
What you call her? The mediator?
The host.
Yeah, the host.
Yeah.
And her eyes got big, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, she probably thinking, "This is what the fuck we should have led with." If I would have known he had this one.
She was sick. I was kind of sick because I was like, I know you well enough to know. I'm like, he tried to mix it up a little bit right now.
Absolutely.
But you could have led with that.
Look.
But I don't know if that's who you really are, though. I told you I was proud of you last night. I was like, I found out you were woke. I knew you was woke, but you woker than I thought you were. So I'm happy. I thought we was debating. And I told you, the way she came at me, I was like, oh, she found some other tweets from Gavin because she was like, it's going to be a feisty debate tonight. I was like, oh, she found some shit.
Absolutely. Whoever just called me from a number that I don't have saved, I'm not answering your shit. Hold on, people. Let's start this. Done the drops in a while. You'll see what you got to do at the end. Hold on. You're not even gonna know when you're supposed to say it. When I tell you to, you gotta say no.
Exposure podcast.
Let's get it.
A podcast about helping our community of photographers to reach the next level in their business. We just leveled up. Hosted by Key,
aka Key No.
Absolutely.
Charlotte photographer Gavin B.
We unscripted. We keeping it real. Let's get it.
Wrap it up.
What? Shut up.
Wait, so I can't pay an exposure?
No.
I have a great person here with me. Before we get started, let me give y'all a little background. I slid in this young lady's DMs. I don't even think I got left on red. I just don't think you've seen it. So I said, all right, fuck it. So I went back to her DMs and I'm like, all right, I already look like a thirst bucket above, but let me just say something. And I was like, I'm gonna put, instead of 2 lines, let me add 3. Maybe she'll see the 3rd line. That's never how this shit works, right? And so I write you thinking like, all right, she may see this, she may not. And to my surprise, you saw it. And when you saw it, you was like, yeah, we can work. So to give everybody a heads up, I said this off air. I never get nervous shooting weddings, maternities, nothing. My only time I ever get nervous in shooting is when I'm shooting with a actual model and it's our first time shooting, because I don't know what their expectations are, and I don't know what they've experienced before. So I meet at the studio. Shout out to that studio. Who have you been?
I have to cut you off. That's not what happened.
What happened?
You thought I was doing photography already. You didn't know if the content was mine.
Facts. Okay, so I wrote her because so I thought she was a model at first. Then I saw that she was doing other things. So I said, oh shit, I'm writing a photographer thinking that they model. Then I find out she actually models. So correct. Hand claps for you.
Yeah, I remember that and bruh, timing be everything, because when he first hit me up though, I probably maybe glanced over it, but at the time I never looked at myself as a model. And so that's why following through is important. That's why any celebrity will tell you when their big break was following through. Because when you hit me up the second time, I had decided I was going to be a model. And that's why I'll always fuck with this man right here, because when he hit me up, he saw something in me that I didn't even necessarily see in myself. Dead ass though. I started to see it, and then when me and him first met, he was so excited to shoot with me. That
Absolutely.
has probably like molded my modeling career. Like, what if Gavin? What if you wasn't that lit? Like,
well,
and
true.
it was a bad experience. You were the first photographer I shot with when I wanted to model. Now, I had already shot with big photographers because of my art platform, but you were who, when I wanted to be a model, I shot with.
Oh, well, shout out to, well, all right. So let me, don't step
go ahead. Sorry.
Don't step on my intro.
I know. I had to, though, because I'm like, that's not how it happened. Like,
so I write her. We show up to the studio. I set up. I have this dingy backdrop, which I still love, but it was just one of them things. It is what it is. And she comes in. She's quiet at first for all of 37 seconds. And you come in, you go, do you want a Truly? And I'm like, bruh, it's 9:30. I'm like, no.
Was it yet?
It was so early. I was like, no. And you were like, okay. And then you just pop one open. And we had a great shoot. We had fun. Your energy was crazy. I was kind of mad because I think you actually had to get back home. And I had nothing to do the rest of the day. And I was just like, yo, this is mad cool. And I think we met during COVID, right? Yeah, so it wasn't even like we could be like, yo, let's go to the bar because nothing was fucking open. And since then, we have been doing nothing besides rocking, vibing, talking, just, I tell everybody, I'm like, look, there's this model. We went out to eat one time and I got fussed out the whole time just with business advice and things I should be doing better. And I want to thank you, none other than Miss Hala. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great.
First of all, before we get started, where are you from?
Here.
Okay. What's your socials? Because never mind, we ain't gonna do that. What's your social?
Hala the Hustler.
There we
Period.
go.
Point blank.
You ain't gonna tell us about your art. You ain't gonna tell us how you painted scissor that's behind. If for anybody doesn't know,
I forgot. I'm here with y'all. I got invited to the cookout today. I have been begging him to be on his podcast.
She has actually, and I was like, "Yo, we got to do it. You just got to let me move." Because when we talked, I was still in my crib.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Nah, you got to let me get in the right spot." And then let me tell y'all about Hala. And I don't mean to just keep bigging her up, but it has to happen. I made up in my mind. I saw this scissor painting, and I said, "I'm getting that." And so I go online. I buy the painting. I'm telling y'all, I don't even think PayPal processed the payment yet. I get a text from her cussing me the fuck out. And she said, "I'm sending your money back." Not only did she send me my money back, I don't even think I should be saying it. She sent me back double. And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" You was like, "No, you'd never buy art from me." And I'm like, yo, I love that painting so much. And it's so dope.
But this is where I tell people, God, and this is why we shouldn't do a podcast together, because we just could go back and forth. But y'all, like, when you fuck with someone, because even you going on my website, I felt disrespected because I would have given him the original, which was more not a question. Like, you would have had the original, but you wasn't going to take that from me either. So I'm like, nah. And then, like, I don't know. I feel like we get that, though. We do enough for each other, and that's mutual. And we're going to get there later, of course, when we talk about collabs. But, yeah.
Y'all hear the gunshots.
But also, y'all, I've tried to pay this nigga, and it don't work.
Yeah,
it don't work, bro. I go on his website. I try to pay him.
I refuse. I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
And that's how I feel. But it's fine. I think now we have that understanding. We don't try to pay each other no more. Yeah, because there's no point.
It's no point. It's like that day, I think we was like just sending shit back to each other. I'm like, yo, what are we doing here? What is going on? All right, so tell me this. For those who don't listen, excuse me. First of all, I want to say this. Hala has me drinking. For those who know, I don't drink on my podcast. But shout out to C Modern Aesthetics who brought me this Ciroc bottle. It's getting used today. I make this nigga drink. I make anyone around me drink. I'm trying to make his wife drink basically, and she been pregnant. I'm like, girl, you can't drink. I be trying to give his wifey bottles and shit. Look,
I make people drink. But go ahead. Let me shut up, Lord.
So,
go ahead.
I want shout out to our first and last time listeners. Shout out to everybody that's on YouTube. Please follow us, Paid and Exposure _podcast. Please do all that. And y'all see her socials all throughout all of this, so make sure you follow her as well. But for those who don't know, how did you get started in this industry? Tell us about your journey.
In modeling industry.
Sure. You can tell us about, you can do both. Because most people don't know you paint, you model,
So this is where I don't feel like people give me my fucking credit though.
Okay,
like,
talk your shit.
No, I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm cussing on Gavin's podcast.
Absolutely.
No, I'm gonna talk. That is where I'll talk my shit. People, I don't think realize how much work I put in as an artist, and now as a model, and now as a photographer. People don't realize how hard painting is. And I love all the arts. I respect it because I was a painter first. Okay. And as a fucking painter, bro, that shit is hard as fuck. You need professional pictures. Most painters can do photography because they have to learn to take pictures of their prints. So, like, that's literally how I got into it. I was a painter. I bought a camera because I always had friends in the art because I respected art. And at the time, my friend told me to get a Sony. He was like, that's the hottest shit out. This is 2017, I think.
And it was.
Yeah, and I had the Sony AR2. So he was like, get that hottest shit out. And I wanted to do video. I wanted to do time lapses of me painting. And then I was like, bonus, I can do photography.
Yeah.
And so I got the camera, $2K. For the camera and lens at the time. I got it right when it came out, y'all. So $2K. I have a basic lens too. That was $2K. And then I started playing with my camera. Then I learned how to take professional pictures of my prints. But people also don't know, like, I lived in LA and was on set with my roommate who was a big actress at the time.
Yeah.
So I was on set learning backdrops and all this. I had never learned that. I was a country girl from North Carolina who painted, you know? And so I learned that. But I always say I learned how to... Art, you don't make money. Like, as a painter, most painters do not ever make money. And if they do, it's when they die. And so I say, like, people don't give me credit because I know how to network.
You do.
I don't think anyone in the state of North Carolina can network how I can do it. If I want to find a certain type of photographer, I'm finding them tomorrow, and I'll do that. So that's, like, how I got into modeling. And then I got carpal tunnel, though. If I'm being real, how you feel about podcasts, I wish I could paint all the time. Yeah. I love art.
Yep. I remember... when I first met you, you was like, oh, my hands, I can't do this. And so I'm laughing because I told you, I was like, we talked about you drawing the portrait of my wife. I was like, yo, take your time. Don't press. Like, don't worry about it. This girl, she painted this shit so fucking fast. Met me at Harris Teeter. And was like, here you go. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you?
Because that's the first gift you let me give to you. And it was wifey that, like, your wife is so important to you. And you finally let me gift you something. Like, I had to. But, y'all, like, my hand was hurting. Like, niggas don't know that shit. Like, my hand hurts. Yeah. And so I love modeling. I have to be very cautious of when I say that. I love and respect the photography and the modeling end. But... just like you, art's my passion. Absolutely. You know, but then all the arts correspond to. Like, I became a better model because of photography, and I became a better photographer because I model.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So I know one sister. Is the rest of your family, are they artistic as well?
As an adult, I say yeah. And I didn't realize that as a child. But I grew up and my mom took me to like cultural festivals. Okay. And we always owned sketchbooks and like sketch pads. Yeah. And then my mom actually has always had a Canon or a Nikon. I don't know if they were like a nice one, but she knew about lenses. I don't know if she knew about settings, but my mom has always had a bodied camera.
That's dope.
And she's obsessed with pictures. She's obsessed with, like, she prints out pictures.
You know, I was telling my boy, I said, I feel bad because I feel like we're about to get to that point where even though we do stuff on the phone and it's so easy to take pictures on phones, like we're going to get to a point where families are not going to be videoing like people growing up. Like for me, and it's not a lot, you know what I'm saying? But my parents have little videos of me and my sister just sitting around the house hanging out, right? And I told one of my boys, I said, yo, you need to start offering that to families. Like, go to their family reunions, just capture that shit, and just send them. You don't even have to edit it. Just send them the video footage. Be like, yo, look, y'all might need this shit one day. And I was telling him that, and I was thinking, I said, all right, because when I was growing up, you know, whether it's at church, whether it's family, friends, it was always somebody that you knew who wasn't a professional photographer, but they had a camera, right? And then I started thinking, like, I found out once I got to high school, my dad used to draw, and I found his sketchbooks. That's the only way I found that. And I started looking around. I'm like, yo, do we even teach our kids that? And I ain't going to say, like, shout out to this young lady, and I don't even think she cares. But one of my homegirls, she went to school for, like, math, and she's the art teacher at her school. And I was like, how are you that? And she said, honestly, I don't know why they let me be the art teacher. She said, I art isn't my thing. She said, I just told them y'all underpaying me as a math teacher. And they was like, cool, we got something else for you. And she was like, they threw me into art. And she was like, that let me know. And I think she was talking to me. She was like, yo, they don't value art anymore in school. And she was like, I'm just giving you a heads up. And then next thing you know, she was like, yo, I want you to come talk to my kids. And I told her, I was like, yo, this year I come and talk to your kids. Because I was like, we gotta start getting arts back important, back in the forefront. Because I felt bad. Because you think about it like that's why I was asking you about your family. Like, did it start young, or did y'all get older and realize it? Because it is a possibility, we don't start implementing that in the next generation, it could get lost. But yeah.
But I got beef with that too, though, because a lot of photographers, and I do it all, and I literally love it all, but a lot of photographers are not artists.
Okay.
A lot of models,
GWCs, guys with cameras.
A lot of models aren't artists. Shit, a lot of painters aren't artists.
Question. This is when we say squirrel, because we're about to get off topic.
Go ahead.
Just to let everybody know, if y'all looking for some pop culture shit, we have no topics. Because by the time we get done with this, it's going to be as long as every other podcast, because we're going to get off topic a lot. What is your definition of a model? I don't think a lot of people know what a model is. And I know I didn't ask you this off air. So, I'm sorry. But what makes... And you can give me both. What makes up a model? What makes up a photographer?
I'm going to give you two answers.
Okay.
Woke Mahala, activist Mahala, artist Mahala. A model is a woman who is comfortable with herself. Okay. Or a woman or man. Yeah. Who is comfortable with themselves in front of a camera and can perform. Okay. So, actually, the next best thing to that definition to me on Woke Mahala would be a dancer.
Okay.
A dancer if you get any dancer right now to come to set who's comfortable in front of people, she can dance her way and get great photos for you.
People don't know a dancer and an actor are cheat codes for models.
Yes. Yes. Like, that's the next best thing. But as signed model Mahala, height. I hate to say that, but height is real. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because tall girls don't have a lot of shit. If I'm talking as a woman, we got basketball modeling, y'all. Maybe volleyball.
Yeah,
that's it.
Volleyball.
That's it. I'm sorry, y'all. That's all we got. So, I would put a height requirement. Like, sign Mahala, you have to be 5'8". To be a model. Yeah. Literally 5'8", period.
Absolutely.
And then I would say the next thing, I would say a unique look. Yeah. Typically, I feel like outsiders think models are like the pretty Instagram girls with followers, but real models who get paid in the industry are not the typical pretty girls.
Yeah, they ain't the Fashion Nova chicks. They're really not.
And that's not real authentic modeling industry. It's not. Yeah. So even with me, I'm not saying I'm the best model in the world, but I have gaps. That's actually something the modeling industry wants. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so, but in real life, in Instagram world, they wouldn't want gaps. I have fucking 5 gaps, y'all. I have 5 gap teeth, Yeah. And so in signed model world, a real model would be like 5'8" minimum plus, and have unique, like you would see her out and be like, she looks different, not even necessarily beautiful, which that is beautiful, everything's beautiful, but different, you know what I mean though? Like, absolutely, that's what I'm. So those are my 2 definitions. Absolutely. So
I tell people all the time, before I met you, my 2 favorite models were, shout out to Iris and shout out to Alex. Super great girls, super beautiful, super fun. And I asked both of them, I said, how did y'all get into modeling? And they was like, I was in school. I was taking, I was a theater student, and I was doing acting. And they said, both of them separately, I didn't tell neither one of them what the other person, well, I asked Iris first and she told me, then I asked Iris. And so both of them go, part of the acting class was you had to go do something that you had no experience in, but you needed to see if you can get the gig, because you needed to act your way through it. And both of them chose to be a model. They was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I'm asking them, I'm like, how did this happen? They was like, I was watching I went to a model call. I was watching what all the other models did, how they posed, whatever. And I got up there and I just repeated everything. And I acted away like I knew what the fuck I was doing. That was part of my acting and my training. And they were like, both of them said they got hired as models. And they said what they realized is they loved it so much that they then started researching to get better at it. And I told them, I said, that is the cheat code. Because they know how to be, they can move effortlessly, right? And just keep working and grinding, you know what I'm saying, when you're on set. And dancers as well, when I pay attention to other photographers, I'm like, yo, how did you meet this person? Oh, she's a dancer. I'm like, really? They was like, yeah, they know how to move their body. They don't care that.
Worst case, we could throw athletes in there even. I'm not athletic, y'all. So fun fact about me as a model, though, I'm not. And I actually got a personal trainer, and she's been helping me do more
We see you
poses.
On the gram.
Yes, but I'm like, she's helping me do more poses. Because I told her a lot of modeling is weird, fucking flexible poses, and I've never been flexible. So I feel like if we're even doing that, the next best thing to model would be an athlete, a dancer, or a theater person. I agree 100%.
It's interesting. All right, you ready to get to today?
Yep, I know.
It's go time.
All right, let's go.
All right, so let me tell y'all. Let me give y'all some backstory. So I'm talking to a group of photographers, and we're having a conversation about models. Now that you've gotten more back, and I'm not saying more than modeling, but now that you've, have more focus on photography, I think you can agree with me on photographers and models see the same thing completely different. And so I'm talking to these group of photographers, and we're talking about collabs. And in this conversation, while we're talking about collabs, I'm looking at them, and these group of guys are asking me questions, and I go, yo, don't pay these models for pictures. And so I'm telling you behind the scenes what happened. Mm-hmm. And they go, why? I said, because they won't pay you. And they go, what you mean? And so I have this conversation with them, and it translates online, and the conversation builds, and it builds to, the thing I told them was that I didn't share, but I told them, I said, look, if you don't bring a model value, they're going to charge you. And I was like, look, and they not wrong with that, because you could possibly, very well, more than likely, especially if you're new, you're going to waste their time. And I said, don't be mad when they charge you. And I said, look, I don't believe in collabing with them because unless you know the value you're going to get. And I said, look, the thing is the same thing with them. If you don't think they can bring you value, you need to charge them. Anyway, so what happened online was, one day I got time.
I be having time sometimes. Sometimes so you ain't got it. Sometimes I got the fucking time.
You wake up and you like, oh, I got time today.
If you ever see me and Gab and Beef, we had time.
So
we had fucking time.
Let's go to you. What did you feel about what is your idea, your thought process on models and photographers collabing?
Okay, I think you already hit the point. One reason me and Gav always collab, and it's so monumental to like even our friendship, me and Gav are friends now, is we see value in each other. And this is something I have had to learn because I respect art so much. I will collab with anyone. I will collab with a photographer who started yesterday because I also know how important it is to support someone when they first start. And that's the artist in me because, y'all, I can't express this as enough. Being a painter is so much harder than being a photographer. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. It is. And so I dealt with so much rejection and I needed so much support to be an artist. Mm-hmm. My best painting, you wouldn't think is my best painting because art is so subjective. And I learned that. So my point to saying that is I can shoot, let's say another model shoots with you. They may genuinely not like your work.
Absolutely.
And
True.
I shoot with you and I like your work, or I see the potential, and you shoot with me and you see the potential, which is why we work together. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I performed with days like you didn't like Hala, not even Hala could have done better, but like I'm sure you have footage you don't even love.
Absolutely.
But you know the potential and you respect my craft, or you respect me, whichever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And I respect you. And I've had to learn this in myself. Whenever I don't necessarily I don't want to say respect, but whenever I don't like the photographer's work initially and I go into a collab, I never like the end results.
Yeah, true.
So I've had to learn to say no, but the artist in me wants to say yes because art is subjective. So I know, although I may not like the images, you may.
Somebody may. Why do you feel like some models have a hard time telling photographers no?
I have a hard time. I struggle with it every day.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to my girl, Kayla. Kayla calls me and be like, bitch, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why did you collab with him? She'll be like, you shoot with Gavin.
Yeah.
The fuck are you collabing with this nigga for? He's horrible. I struggle, but like I said, that's the artist in me, and I know what it's like to struggle, and then I know my platform holds weight now.
Yeah.
So like, Gav, if I met you and you just starting, I don't want to say no, even if your work's bad, but most people aren't like that. And I think that's where collabs have issues. And even, we talked about this morning, but I have peeped that a lot of photographers do not respect me as a model at all. They might have respected my platform even more than me as a model. Yeah. They respected that I might have shouted them out. So even that's something I'm realizing. I'll collab with someone and I'm realizing they expected the shout out. And then when I really talk to them, I realize, y'all, they don't think I'm a good model. They wanted the clout, which is fine, but that's just pay me to shoot then, and then I would shout you out because it was paid.
Don't you wish people would just say, hey, this is why I'm here. How much would it cost for this? So the reason why I'm laughing is because there was a time where I told my wife, I said, I think people used to get mad I didn't post them on Instagram. And I was telling her, I'm like, I don't like this. Now, I did it because you booked me, you paid me, and I'm going to do a good job. Cool, bet. I said, but I don't want, for instance, I shoot boudoir, right? I don't post it.
And who knows? I've never seen his boudoir work.
Exactly. I have a whole, the boudoir tab. If you Google my name in boudoir, the page will come up on my website, but it's hidden. Because
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, because I do it often, but I just don't promote it like that because I don't want to. Well, not that I don't want to. It's a lot of fucking editing. And I feel like a lot of people feel like, hey, I can get it cheaper, so they don't want to pay it. That's really the real reason why I don't promote that I do boudoir. But if you ever hit me up, I have written consent from models. I can send you a whole portfolio. It's fine. But I say all that to say, what the fuck was I about to say? This is why I don't drink.
This is why me and Gavin should never do a podcast. So this is us every day, y'all. If y'all really want to know who we are, instead of
this is what happened. So I used to shoot people. And I've had people I shot boudoir with, and I don't post them, and they go, yo, you're not going to post me? You must didn't like the work. And I'm go, no, I love the work. Why don't you post it? I'm like, I don't feel like everybody thinking, hey, he does this only now, or he does this. I need to go do this, and I got to keep doing this. And then when I started laughing at it, I go, yo, did you just want me to post you? You could have just told me, yo, I need you to post me. Because what I would have did was I would have just charged you a little bit more, and I would have made sure you got posted. Like, just tell me if that's what the fuck you're looking for. Just tell me as a photographer.
I am sorry, too. That requires a payment. So I collab. Absolutely. Well, prior to me being signed, I collabed a lot. But I now realize, all jokes aside, a lot of people didn't think I was a great model. And especially a lot of people don't want to work with curve models. Like, a lot don't, or if they do, it's only because they want it on their portfolio. Yeah. A lot of photographers truly don't want to work with a curve model. So now, especially now that I'm signed and they know all photographers want to work with agencies. Got
another question.
Yeah.
But go ahead. No, finish.
Okay. Long story short, though, I have realized that a lot of photographers shot with me because also I really shout out my photographers. I do paragraphs about what.
Like, keep it on low just for me.
Well, I don't do it no more. It's if you go look at my page, no, who's on there now? Gavin, Bryce, the three I always shout out. That's it.
So, as a curve model,
talk to me.
And then we gotta get back to collabs. Unless we just don't make it back there.
We're going to. I'll answer quick.
What don't you, or what do you want edited as a curve model? And I'm going to give you an example. Shout out to my homie, Desiree. Love her. Amazing girl. She's a plus size model. Super cool. She's worked in New York where she was, she was up there in New Jersey and Patterson. She going to kick my ass for saying that. She's not from Patterson, but that's not the point. But anyway, she was up there and, she asked me, she said, I remember, she said, would you shoot with me? And I'm like, hell yeah, you're a beautiful girl. Desiree fine. And she's mad cool. I'm like, I would shoot with you. Shot with her. I posted her. And she said.
That was who was at your baby shower?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Stunning.
And so
Stunning.
I asked her, I said, why did you think I wouldn't post with you? She was like, well, you don't have any plus size women on your profile. So she said, as a plus size model, I just assumed you don't. And I was like, all right, cool. But even shooting with her, mind you, she had all her clothes on. So I was like, what don't I edit? Like, for for some girl, a chick that's like thin or smaller, their stomach might be an issue. But for you, I took pictures of you. In one picture we have that everybody loved, you don't have any clothes on. And I sent you, one with, you had a roll. I left it in there.
And then you edited it.
And then I edited it.
I already know what he's talking about.
So what do you ladies, especially the plus size or curve models, what don't y'all want edited, or what do you mind? Or should the answer be, hey, just ask?
I definitely think the answer should be just ask, because I can't speak on behalf of all curve models.
Absolutely.
Initially though, my main thing is actually the initial photos, and a huge reason I don't shoot nude with most people is not, I would love a whole portfolio of nude. I'm body positive, but niggas will fuck up my angles. Yeah. And I mean, no. I mean this to say though, a lot of photographers have never worked with a curvy girl. So they shoot you the way you shoot a thin girl. Yeah. And I'm sorry, that is whole different. Work. No, it doesn't work. Yeah. And I am a tall girl. I'm a model, but once again, I'm gonna bring up Kayla, our girl. He knows Kayla. Kayla's Speed, my height. Up? Yeah, Speed is my height.
She's tall as shit.
Yeah, she might even be taller than me, but we're almost the exact same height. But you cannot shoot me the same angles as you shoot her. Absolutely. She is small, bro. Like you said, her issues are probably her stomach in the photos, her abs showing. Yeah. Mine is my roll showing. Now I'm body positive, but I guess I would say ask.
Okay.
To keep the answer short, ask. But also, it's funny you say that, because I'm more of a body potty.
Ow.
Body positive model than some models are. So some bigger girls are not okay with their rolls really showing. I try to be on that, but it's funny because I know when you sent me the 2 photos, I actually chose initially to upload the one where you edited my roll. But now where I am on life, I only upload the one where it's not edited. Yeah. So I think
just ask.
It just ask.
Yeah,
just ask.
Because for me, I was looking at it, I'm like...
And you uploaded the one where it wasn't edited. Or, well, I mean,
I had your roll in it.
Yeah, you had my roll in it.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like... All right, so I laugh because I'm in a photography group. Shout out to Build and Bloom. Jessica, when you find out that I'm actually somebody you should pay attention to, you're going to kick me out the group. Because I be in there talking reckless. Gavin gets
kicked out of every group.
Every fucking group. But this girl was she was explaining how, as a photographer, she tells women what they should wear. Like, she literally tells them, like, this is what you're going to wear to a shoot. And she was saying things, and I told her, I said, that is female privilege, or, women's privilege. And I told her, I said, because I can't call a woman and say, hey, this is what you're wearing to the shoot with me. And she was like, I don't know why not. Mind you, shout out to our white listeners. She was a white girl, so she felt comfortable in doing all that shit. I'm like, as a black man, I can't just call any woman.
You want to be honest? I'm going to cut you off.
Huh?
If I was being 100%, I think males should only shoot males and females should only shoot females.
Okay.
If I had
Tell us why.
My ideal heaven, no, I'm gonna be real. I would prefer to never shoot with a male photographer.
Really?
Even you, Gavin. If I had it my way, and I'm throwing. No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
You can't relate to being me.
That is true. Fair.
You can't. Even if you gained 300 pounds and became a curve plus size male model, you don't have my shape.
I know a guy who does that. He has breasts too.
Yep.
That's
but you don't have my. Even if he has breasts, he don't have my titties. He don't have them.
They probably the same size. I'm gonna show you.
Not the same. This nigga. Here we go. Not the same. No. Swear to God. For the record, and you're right. It is a privilege. As a male, I'd be damned if a nigga tells me what to wear to set. For the record. However, as a female, Gavin, I want you to know, as a photographer, I tell women what they shouldn't wear. If a girl hits me up and is like, I would love to shoot how you shoot nude, but I'm really insecure about my weight. Do you know what I tell them? What? I say you shouldn't shoot nude if you're insecure about your weight.
Yeah, I mean...
I literally go, I would suggest you wearing clothes. No, and it's not... No, I think people think that's mean. You cannot... Do not shoot nude. This is my issue. Now I'm talking as a photographer.
Here we go.
And I bet you relate to this. Okay. I bet you relate.
Here we go.
When you uploaded the one in my roll and I uploaded the one without, did I come to you about I didn't like the one you uploaded?
Nope.
But how many women would?
A bunch.
A bunch
will.
I'm the fucking only one who wouldn't.
Yeah, okay? Yeah.
And I would, because I originally preferred the one that was edited, but you uploaded the other one. But that's my body. It is what the fuck it is. I'm gonna be mad at him for uploading my body? No. But most women would care, and my point to that is you shouldn't if you're not comfortable, don't do it.
Absolutely. And you know,
that's not fair. I'm sorry. That's not fair to photographers though. That's not fair to you.
True.
If I would have came to you and said, take that off, that's not fair to you. But people don't look at it like that. But that's not fair to you. That's what I look like.
Yeah.
That's me.
She said that's what I look like.
That's me. But women, so I tell my girls, because one client, I've only had an issue with one client recently, and she did a shoot with me, and afterwards she sent me like 20 pages about how she loves my work, but then it transitioned into she didn't. And then she basically said, at the end, she was like, I look fat in all the pictures.
Damn.
And then I literally responded, I said, was it me who made you look fat? Or did you feel fat? I promise you that was my response. She said, well, in the scheme of things, this is my heaviest weight I've ever been at, and I hate it. You know what I told her? I said, you shouldn't shoot if you're at your heaviest weight and uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Hold on, I'm about to show you this dude who got big. He got this.
No, you're fine. But that's not fair. More of the story. This is my advice for anyone who wants to model. That is not the photographer's job. I don't care if they're advanced in Photoshop and can edit out. That's not their job. Their job is to take pictures of you. That's a photographer's job. That's a whole nother conversation.
I mean, we here.
That's a photographer's job. Their only job, it's not even really to edit. It's to take photos of you. If we being real.
Absolutely. All right, I gotta find this dude's page. But
let me shut up. Go ahead.
So is it part of your understanding that if a photographer or if a model doesn't find value in a photographer, they should charge? How do you think models should go about charging photographers? Because I think that is an issue. Some are scared, some are don't. They don't understand the pricing. Some don't. I
hate being an activist, bruh. Because
come on, let's do it.
Two sides, bruh.
Tell us.
I have two sides, but my real issue is the industry is so filled, especially if we're talking about the black industry. Okay, because that's different.
Talk to me.
Black photographers don't be working with real models.
Ooh.
So then we're creating standards off collabing off models who aren't real models, so the photographers don't want to pay. But then that's what
come on, talk your shit.
Killing me. No, it's not talking shit. This is hard for me. This is hard because there's influencers now too, though. So realistically, Gavin, let's say there's a girl in Charlotte with 500K followers.
Okay.
And she's not an actual like sign model, working model, but she has 500K.
Okay.
And she's an Instagram influencer.
Absolutely.
Who should be paying?
You. I will have to pay her.
You.
Absolutely.
Now me and you see it that way, but most don't. But that's a whole other story. You should pay. Realistically, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if she's not a real model, you should pay.
I'm gonna have to pay because I'm paying for. You know what you be paying? You be paying for people's time. You be paying for what they possibly can do for you. And it's kind of about, this conversation has turned into, or is what it's been about, is like, when you don't communicate, shit get fucked up. Because let's say she got 500K followers, she in Charlotte, and I know what I want from her. Is it her look? Because if she says, hey, this is my price off her look, then cool. If her look ain't worth it or whatever, cool. But most of the time, you want her to promote you.
But
you
that's something we got to talk about. That's a whole nother payment.
It is, but people don't even communicate. Because if I come to you and I say, hey, Hala, you have a shit ton of Twitter followers. I'm trying to grow my Twitter following. I want that. And I never tell you. You might just spam my shit all over Instagram. I'm like, that's cool. For those who don't know, Hala has a huge Twitter following. Huge. Yeah. And so my thing is, if that's what I want and I don't never communicate it with you, you might think, yo, I posted you on Facebook and I promoted you. I really like your work. I'm sharing it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I'm trying to find this shit for you because you're going to fucking laugh.
Let it go.
Oh, no, you don't see this nigga titty.
If we being real, a big thing with collab is communication. And absolutely. I do think contracts, whether they get followed or not, need to be more in line what the expectations are. Because especially now, I say I'm not willing to do collabs, and of course I am, but I'm not supposed to because I'm signed. All this shit, all this shit. But now, it's really sloppy what I just said. Really sloppy, but it is what it is. But now, like I told you, there's also y'all, where I am now, there's a type of work I'm going to post in a time, and that's up to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for me now too, like, I can shoot with Gavin when I want, and I love what me and Gavin create. So I'm fine with only posting me and Gavin where I'm at right now. A few months ago, I was down to post anyone.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
In 6 more months, I might not even, no shade, I might not even be down to post Gavin. I may only post the work I get through the agency because maybe that's my focus. And I think people get confused. But realistically, a collaboration, if it's a photographer and model, the job is for the model to show up and the job is for the photographer to take pictures. That's it.
And deliver it.
That's it. And deliver. Deliver the images to the model.
Yo, shout out to you niggas that do not send pictures. You guys are fucking amazing.
For a collaboration, yeah.
Look, all right. So this is the part of the podcast where y'all ask the questions, I answer it, but guess what? Hala is here. So y'all ask the questions, I ask the questions to Hala, and Hala answers. All right. I would say take it away, Key, but Kiana's not here. Just to give everybody a heads up.
She told me she was gonna be here today.
I
got beef with you now, sis. I asked her at your baby shower. I said, you gonna be there for me and Gav's podcast? She said, of course. Blah, blah, blah. Where you at, sis?
I'm gonna tell the truth. We was supposed to do this podcast on Wednesday. She was gonna be here.
Oh, and then you moved it.
Then I moved it, and we knew she was leaving on Friday, and we couldn't do it yesterday because it was her birthday and she was going out.
Of course, yeah.
So that's the only reason why she's not here. But she actually filled out the docket, and then she got here on yesterday. Yeah, because we did it early yesterday. Gotcha. She goes, "Where's Hala?" I said, "She's not here." I moved it. She goes, "What you mean she's not here?" I told her I was like, my bad. But even though I did the gunshots, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to.
I love you, sis. Gav might have to invite me back again. I know I only get to sit at this table once in a blue moon.
No,
but maybe I'll get another chance.
All right. Shout out to Ralph. He asked this question. He says, "Hey, I'm a photographer wanting a model to work with to submit images to a stock image website. Any tips on how to approach this model?"
Say it one more time.
So it's a photographer. I just shorten it down because this nigga got 3 sentences and we ain't got time for that.
That's a lot. I've drank.
But look, we've been drinking. He wants to work with a model, but he wants to be able to sell her images to a stock website. But how do you go?
I don't know about that.
So I guess what the question is like you're gonna have to have them sign a release form.
Okay.
And like, is there a special way?
Pay.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So is the best way to approach them and be like, "Hey, this is how much I'm paying"?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when I do boudoir work, a lot of it, I have to sign a release. Absolutely. And that essentially means they do whatever the fuck with. I don't even know. They could be selling fucking a picture.
Pornhub.
Yeah, it could be. My pussy could be. But that's what I signed, and whatever they are agreed upon payment was what it was. I don't ask them. I don't harass them.
So pay. All right. Next up.
And pay whatever they require. You
Absolutely.
pay. Yeah, period. Pay.
I respect that. Shout out to Carrie. Carrie said a photographer wanted to collab with me, but ghosted me pretty much until the night before the shoot. She didn't say whom. I did. And I don't know how to handle this in the future. How do you handle collabs? And how would you have handled this situation? Let's start with how would you have handled this situation of being ghosted all the way up to the day of the shoot?
Don't work with them, period. If it was a male, he was probably horny.
What?
What do you mean, what? You telling me this ain't the truth? See, Gav's a good guy, but you telling me that ain't the truth? You telling me you don't know a photographer who hits up girls when they're horny to shoot?
No, he ghosted her.
Yes, that's my point. So when he initially hit her up, he was probably, if it was a male, he was probably horny.
And he just forgot about her?
Well, he probably busted
Do you see men as horn dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wrong one on the podcast. I told you. But yeah, don't work with him. But once again, that goes back to what me and Gavin were talking about. I think that's something. That's why, like, me and you got the relationship we have. We value each other's work. Mm-hmm. That's something I even have to work on. I need to stop working with photographers. I don't value their work as much as even you. Just like you shouldn't at this point. Now that you have models you value and love working with, if you don't feel that passion you feel working with me or with Kayla, whoever, you know, any other model, you shouldn't really work with them at this point because you have those people. Yeah. So with her, if he's not hitting her back, she shouldn't collab. You don't want to, like, it's not worth your time, especially if it's not, like, it's not paid.
Absolutely. Last question from Megan. Shout out to Megan. New to modeling, and I have no idea on how to find a photographer to work with. Any tips?
Pay.
I like this.
Hey, people don't believe. That's that's where I say people need to put more respect on fucking me and Gavin's name too, though.
Okay.
We pay.
Talk your shit, sis.
If y'all, I can probably work with majority of photographers I want to for free. But do you know how many fucking photographers I paid to get my name out there?
Absolutely.
I could name 20 photographers I've paid in the last 6 months. 20. Swear to God. And I didn't need to. I could have posted and had other ones, but there's quality of work I need.
Yeah.
And sometimes a payment is the best way to literally get what you need. And I don't know why artists have an issue with that.
You know, I don't know why either. I always tell people who first starting off, I'm like, look, 2 things you should do. You need to pay for the experience and you need to pay for the education. And let me tell you, model something. Before you even work with a photographer, find another model and shadow them. Reach out to them. Reach out to them and say, hey, can I shadow you? Can I work with you? Can you come to my shoot and tell me what the fuck to do? Because, and I'm talking about before you even work with a photographer, that's a cheat code to me. That I see models, because I'm like, look, you'll get there, you'll be a new model, you come to me, and they never tell you, hey, I'm a new model, I've never modeled before. They'll just show up to me on set and be like, hey, I'm here, I want some pictures. And I'm thinking, oh, this is some regular pictures, you know, whether you want it for Facebook or maybe it's your birthday or maybe you just want some LinkedIn pictures or whatever. So I'm having you doing basic shit, now knowing that your goal is to possibly sign or model or whatever. And a lot of times, like I had one girl, shout out to her, I'm not going to say her name because I feel bad for you. Fuck. Well, I'm not blooping that. I didn't even say her name.
You didn't say her name.
And she's tall enough too.
Dope.
But her goal is to be she wants to be a Fashion Nova girl.
Okay. But you have to be a lot of things. You have to be signed with an agency to work as a model with Fashion Nova. It's either that or ambassador.
But here's the thing: she wants to be the ambassador. She didn't know it.
Okay.
She don't even wants to be the model who signs with Fashion Nova, who goes in and tries on every outfit.
With following.
And she didn't get that. And I told her that. But the thing is, she was like, oh, I want to be a model. I want to do music videos. I want to do club appearances. And my biggest thing is, I want to work with Fashion Nova and, you know what I'm saying, wear their stuff and they send me clothes. And I was like, oh, you want to be ambassador? And she was like, no, I want a model. I'm like, no.
She don't even pay you.
Yeah.
But people, so we're really giving y'all free game right now. If we being real, this is some fucking free fucking game. Know what the fuck you want and do research. And that's why I'm like, put some fucking respect on me and fucking Gavin's name. He still to this day shadows photographers.
Yeah.
I still to this day shadow. I just had my first gig with my agency and I sat there for an hour and asked the model information and asked her if I could pay her after for the information she gave me for free.
Absolutely.
I don't think I am great now. I know I could be better. I have also paid other models for information.
Absolutely.
So when she's like, I want to be... Bruh, I had the opportunity off my art platform to work with photographers for free. I'm an exchange services girl, Gavin. I put this every day. I don't necessarily always want to pay people because I have a service I can give you too, but I've never actually really worked for free. I always give you a painting, give you photography, like whatever, but something, or I pay. Or Absolutely. I literally pay cash. So the best way to fucking learn something is to fucking pay. It's fuck that. It's the easiest way.
Bro, because if you don't want the money, then you just don't want to help me. And then I can understand that quicker. And I ain't saying I agree with it. I might not even like it, but I just got to say, okay, you're a dick. You don't want to help me at all. But paying you cuts out the bullshit. Like, I don't need you to sauce it up for me. I just need you, to give it to me straight up. And I have people all the time, like, they hit me up, like, yo, I want to shadow you, do this. And I'm like, yo, I have lessons. And I had to create that because I'm a nice guy. If you come in, you hit me up, you ask me. Look, my dumb ass do this. I'm like, yo, I got a podcast. I answer your question in the next episode because it's easier for me. But sometimes I'm like, yo, if you just pay me, you're going to get the straight bullshit. Not take the bullshit out. I'm going to give you the answer. Let's keep it moving. All right. So last night, me and you. Oh, also, if you would love to have your question read out on air, just DM us your question and we will answer it. All right. Last night, me and you was on a call. Shout out to the ERUPT app. It's a new debate app that's coming out soon. Well, I mean, it's already out, so you can go ahead and download that right now. This is not a paid sponsorship, by the way. But we were on there and we was talking about DaBaby. First off, what's your thoughts on DaBaby?
You know my thoughts.
Okay, great. So
I ain't doing that with him today. Me and him go back. I ain't doing that though. Canceled. I'm queer. Canceled. If you in the LGBTQ plus IA plus community and he ain't canceled, F you. Literally F you. No question asked.
I'm laughing because I get signed up for this. And I'm like, all right. And the young lady who's super cool, she said, do you have anybody that you think would be great for this? I said, oh, Hala would. And I'm just thinking they need a big personality. And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? They're going to cancel me out because Hala agrees and likes everything. And they already know where she stands. And they're probably going to look and see like, okay, Gavin agrees. So we're going to cancel him out. What they keep us both on?
For the record, y'all, let me stop. Go ahead.
So
go ahead. Never mind.
We both get sucked in, and so we're doing this together. And I'm like, this is gonna be weird.
And it was, part of it was weird. Like, no, shout out to the app, the host.
The host, everything. Lit. It was dope.
No, it was dope. We're not bashing that, but it was weird because we know each other. But I'm not gonna lie, because I knew and got the information of what the platform was. I thought she had found like other tweets from Gavin and he wasn't who I thought he was. And I ain't never stalked this nigga, and Twitter has it all. You know what I mean? Like Twitter has it all. And he had a Twitter years ago that he got off.
Yeah.
So who knows what? So I'm like, oh shit, Gavin's secretly homophobic. He's secretly racist. He is a light-skinned black man. It's about to. I was all type of Lord, fuck. Here's
I'm Doja Cat. Gavin Cat.
I'm not, by the way. Type of fucking vibes. And then we get on though, and then I'm hearing him talk. And we just agree, and I'm like, oh yeah, what he saying, bro?
Yeah. So, I thought I was gonna get kicked off because I'm like, you gonna have me to go in there and talk about DaBaby? I'm gonna tell y'all this nigga's stupid. And then I was like, all right, whatever. And it was cool. Hala did cuss me out because she was like, yo, what's your setup? And I'm like, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be trash. And then I went into my old pod room, and Hala was just like, yo, I'm going to whoop your ass for this shit. It'd be your own people. It do be your own people.
It'd be your own. I literally said, y'all, I voice memo. I said, what's your setup? Should I set up a backdrop? No, he sends me a shitty-ass picture. It looks like he's randomly somewhere. I'm like, oh, bet, y'all. I throw a fucking painting on the wall in a shitty place. I had my backdrops, and I was like, don't need to do that. I come on full old podcast. It looked like it was a setup like this, y'all. And then I come on, and then keep in mind, it's professional. I'm looking like, you dumb motherfucker. And then, of course, they're like, Mahala, your lighting is ass. They
did do that to you. I was like, yo, why y'all do my girl like that, man? She's mad cool. Ooh, I think I might have got a link to the pictures. Hold on. All right, so before we get started, damn, that ain't the nigga face. When I find this nigga titties, you gonna be weak. Damn. Oh, that's some other girl's titties.
I think you're making this up.
All right.
He's a model?
Yeah, he's nice too.
He's signed?
I think so. I can't give you no more because he knows that I know people that know his titties. What was your issue with my ending part? Because at the end of the podcast, I said, they asked me about women rising up in the music game, and they asked me, how do I feel about the future? And my response was, I feel like women empowerment music.
Oh yeah, you said that dumb shit. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I forgot what you said.
I said women empowerment music. I hope it doesn't turn into F-boy encouragement music. And Hala and the first of all, the host's eyes got big. And so I was like, all right, I know we only got 2 minutes left, so it was a great outro. And then we basically got to do the outro and we left. Fellas, that's how you do it. That's how we get up on top.
He's the fucking feds. That's how you know when the feds are talking, y'all.
What's wrong with that? You don't believe in F-boy encouragement music?
I think it's well deserved. How about that?
This nigga titties is not in my phone.
I told you, you're delusional. I think it's well deserved, so that's why I was irritated. But
what's that? You believe women empowerment music is well deserved? I do too, by the way.
Yeah, of course. I know you believe that, but you're saying like anti-fuckboy, but let's not act like people haven't been taking down women throughout culture.
Yeah. No,
I'm saying I feel like there's balance in everything, and I also feel like things can coexist. Like
true.
Even
Facts.
in the past, I can say there's a lot of women music, but there's also a lot of like Tupac was always about women, about black women, all that. So two things can coexist at once, and that's why I felt like what you were saying was crazy because fuck boy music can exist and it can hold a place as empowering black men music can too, and the two always coexist at once. Always. No,
I think what I was trying to say is I hope we don't get to a part where women's empowerment music there's like this gray line, there's this gray area of one side we have women empowerment music, which I'm not talking, and for those who I know, I'm not talking about the ladies who are conscious and things of that nature. I'm talking about the music where women have labeled it as like, hey, we have, women when they're either talking about their bodies, they're talking about sex, they're talking about getting money, or talking about what they want out of men. That's called women empowerment music. And not about all, so please don't take it. It's a small number.
But, okay, so that's where my issue with what you said
to the mic,
lied.
Motherfucker. The mic.
That's where my issue with what you said lied, because you did go on, and I got what you meant for a second. At a point, I was like, oh, okay, he went there. And then I went, wait, hell nah, he went right back, because I hear you, and you're like, I don't want to make it about, you were clear with that. You were like, if women start talking about how men owe them money for this, then men will only make them about money. And that's where you have me like, oh, yeah, facts, you're right, then men will only do that. Men do that either way, though. True. That's where my issue with what you said. True. We ain't got to make a song about it. Yeah. And men will say they don't pay women, but men do pay women. Now.
Y'all paying for it.
No, I mean, but no, even on this end.
Don't listen to me.
No, but even on this end, a man at this point in my life is not, ain't no way if he don't pay for the first day, I'm talking to him again.
You should pay, he should pay for like the first 4, but that's my logic.
Maybe the first 20, but I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you.
Wait till you hit us back with the sound effects that I'm putting in.
I don't even want to know. I hear you. But my point is, like, even that, you said first 4. So let's actually go with what you're saying. Your first 4. Uh-oh. You are paying for her time.
Absolutely.
That's a payment.
Yeah.
And you have decided that it's not a bad thing, but that's her value. You said 4 dates. Mm-hmm. I'm not... Like, you're obviously married and you're in a beautiful relationship. So this is why he can talk his shit. Right, this is why he can even talk like
a lot of this shit I talk
because he's in a beautiful married relationship, okay? But if he was single, I would really have words for him. But of course, he treats his wife like the queen she is. But that's a whole other story. If you were not married to Karina,
okay,
4 dates is the value you just said a woman has.
That's not what I said. The mic.
That's what you said. Go ahead. What you said.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, here's my thing. I don't mind paying for dates. My thing is, by the 4th date, I'm looking at her, and if she doesn't say, hey, I got this one, I'm like, okay, am I just a meal ticket for you? That's for me. So for my logic, it was always, yo, first date, cool. That's not even a question. Second date, and I honestly think the 3rd. Now, on the 4th one, I'm pulling out my wallet. But if she says, hey, I'm not paying for it, and I take it out, cool. I'm telling y'all, when I was dating, that was my final date with any woman. Because mind y'all, I'm going to keep it a buck. Back in the day, I wasn't fucking. All right?
Yeah.
So somebody...
But most are.
I keep thinking that this is my fucking camera. This is my camera. So I say that to say, in most words, mind you, I was young when I first started having sex, and then when I got to a certain age, I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, it was a point in time in my life where I didn't believe in having sex with a woman that I did not want a kid with. And I remember having those times, and I'm like, yo, no. And mind you, I wasn't doing anything to make a kid, but I was like, yo, I'm not gonna take that chance, and I don't know. I don't want to.
What's the percentage of men you think are like
that? Think like that? Very, very, very small.
What's the percentage? Give me a percentage.
15.
Okay.
To be fair, like, I think it's very small. So this is what I was saying yesterday. To circle it back, I wasn't saying that as though that's women's issues. I was kind of saying it was like, I hope we can separate it, because I think, Normani and Cardi B and Meg can all, and I'm only using Normani because she got that one song. But we could talk about Meg. We talk about the City Girls, whoever the case may be. They could talk about their ass. They could talk about, their bodies. They could talk about how they want niggas to pay for this and that, and that's fine. However, we're going to have the young boy that's going to come out and say, hey, I think this is encouragement for me to say, cool, you are transactional. Now, is that on women? No, because it was on men when men were saying, yo, if you're not doing this, you can't come upstairs. If you're not willing to do this, I'm not buying you 20 dates. You know what I'm saying? And it was on men then. So, I mean, excuse me, it was on the, it wasn't on men to say, hey, we can't throw this out to women. It was kind of on men to say, I'm not going to go for that type of woman if that's the only thing she hits for. So, I just put it like that. And so I guess when I said that, I did laugh because I'm like, this is probably what we should have led with in the conversation to turn it up. And they would have loved it. But it was all good. What you was going to say? You ready to cuss me out? You still want to fight me?
No, I was just going
to say. I'm going to give you gunshots.
Hold on. Once again, two can exist at once.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So that can happen. And there's like there's opposites with everything. That's why conservatives and liberals exist.
Yo, never mind.
I know.
They don't wear masks.
I know. But either way, I still think you're fucking wildin'. Because I think niggas put a price on women every day.
They do.
And even that, and I know you're not looking at it like that, and I'm not saying you're that type of man, but I still feel like you're saying a woman is worth 4 dates, which is fine. You have that right. That's your wallet. That's your wallet.
I did not say women is worth 4 dates. I kind of said, look.
But I'm not saying that's an issue, though. I think you're thinking I'm saying that's an issue. That's your damn wallet. And by the way, have control over your damn wallet. However, what I'm saying, that's your number.
Look. By the way, I don't give a fuck if y'all think that I think a woman is worth 4 days because my wife makes me pay all the time.
And that's what I was going to say. It's not even fair when he talks. But also, actually, that was going to be my last thought. When it's funny, though, because we talk about Cardi, we talk about all the city girls. They're also in a position where they can actually pay for shit, though, too. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, and so that's the issue with looking up to rich people in general, celebrity or not,
Facts.
is they can also rap about this shit. But who do you think really pays when Cardi goes out? You think Cardi paying the bills? No, her nigga got money.
Yeah.
So Cardi raps about he gotta pay, and I love Cardi, but I'm saying, like, is that actuality? Or shit, maybe Cardi makes more than him and she pays. But do you think it matters? They have so much money raining in. And that's why I'm like, I don't think what you're saying is relevant.
Yeah. So my only
because Gavin, too.
Okay.
Imagine if you making, let's say you making $500K in North Carolina, and you single. Yeah, $500K in North Carolina, and you single and you dating. Do you think 4 dates is your limit? If you even no, it don't matter. You got money. It don't. If you like the girl past 1 date, you finna pay. You got the money.
True.
So a lot of these are poor people issues. We're fucking poor.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you poor. I'm not wishing that upon you. I'm not putting negative energy. But this is poor people shit.
They can think
I expect a nigga to pay because I'm poor.
They can think I'm poor because when these prices jump up after this baby, y'all gonna know why.
they gonna feel it. No, but that's real shit.
It is. All right. Before we get out of here, give us your socials, where people can find you. And you have to answer the question of if you still do hair wraps.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. She said, oh, yeah. And you got to answer the question.
No, I'm sad. Okay. My social media is Hala the Hustler. You can find all my other platforms on there. So Hala, HALA_ the Hustler. And yeah, no. I closed my head wrap company down this year, so it's temporary in limbo, but it will be relaunched soon. And that's my answer for for head wraps. And I love my head wraps, but it's not a right time.
You got to answer a question at the notebook.
Okay.
This is the part of the podcast when we end, but we have an expose yourself question.
Anyone that's not checked,
unless you just feel compelled to answer one that's checked.
I get to read some or just randomly?
No, you got to answer one.
Just randomly,
anyone that you read that you like, you gotta answer. They're kind of ignorant. But while she's doing that, I do want to let.
And I see all his fucking friends, bro. These are all your friends. I know all these people.
So to give everybody a heads up, I'm gonna keep announcing it. Starting September 1st, we will have the opening for the Charlotte Photographer of the Year. I do want to let everybody know we are opening that up to Greensboro, to Winston, and all of Charlotte. In between, the most north we're gonna go is Greensboro and Winston, and the furthest we're gonna go is to the South Carolina border. So Just giving everybody a heads up. Please check that out. Please let me know if you want to join. To give everybody a heads up, you have to submit between 10 to 15 photos from at least 3 different projects. The top 5 people will be selected, and a panel that does not include me or Kiana will vote on who's the best. When we do have the top 5, we will be promoting them so people can see it, and we can gain some traction off of that. We do have merch that's going to be available. Studio time will be available. We will have an award. You found your question?
I'm gonna let you pick.
No,
I'm gonna give you 3 numbers and you pick.
Okay, cool. And we will do that, and I hope everybody supports, join. Also, if you have something you want to donate to the winner, whether you have a t-shirt brand, whether you have a head wrap brand, whether you have a furniture brand, whatever the fuck it is, if you have something you want to donate, please let me know. We definitely want to give it to people. We definitely want to, make this as big as we can. All right. What's your 3 questions?
16, 41, or 42?
16.
Okay.
What's the question?
What's the worst advice you've ever gotten?
That's whack. What's
you
41?
Picked it. You picked it.
What's 41?
I'll answer both. How about that? Can I do
cool.
that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, worst advice I've ever gotten is do what you love.
Not that. Fuck.
Do what you love.
The worst advice, I have to answer them too. The worst advice I've ever gotten was stick it out in a relationship. Dead ass.
And then check it off?
Yes.
Okay.
That was so fucking stupid when I got that. It was like, yo, don't worry about it. You got to stick this through. You never know what can happen. I was like, yo, shut the fuck up.
I agree.
Because you waste time. And you know what? When you're younger, wasting time in relationships, especially at a certain age, man, you just literally waste time, energy, and headaches on relationships that won't make it past. Even if y'all good on this.
Were you in long relationships?
Nah. With her, yeah, but we spoke.
No, before her.
Oh, nah. I mean, I was talking to like 1 or 2 other girls for like when I say long, if I make it past a year, that's long to me.
Okay. No, that is.
Yeah,
I think a year is long. Past a year.
But other than that, I wasn't. But I remember, like, especially when I was younger, I was like in this whole thing, like, you got to stick it through. Because you start hearing about people like, oh, we've been dating for 2 years. Especially when you're young and you like, damn. You don't realize they break up every fucking 3 days. Stupid.
Absolutely. And you have space, and all that.
Absolutely. All right, second
41
question.
or 42?
The wilder of the two.
41 or 42?
42.
Okay. Have you ever fantasized about someone else during sex?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry. You got to answer the question.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I answered.
You were lit. You said absolutely. I've had some shitty sex. I had to think about someone else. I feel you, nigga. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and answer. You was ready.
Just said yes.
That's all you got? You ain't got...
What you want me to say? Who I was fantasizing?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying something more. Yeah, it's happened multiple times.
Yeah, it happened. Okay, wow.
Something.
I don't know. Sometimes I've been in situations where I was like, yo, man. And then I think of a porn star and I'm like, yo, that was amazing. I saw that. Shout out to Lisa Ann. Shout out to, I'm not even going to go there. That, and then, yeah, never been like a girl who I actually knew. But, yeah. It's always been porn star. I believe.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not gonna tell people this. Well, I'm about to say it. I believe most men have fantasized about. I believe most men fantasize about a different woman while having sex at least like 65% of the time.
Oh, really?
Nah, this is a number I made up.
That's really sad. I didn't know that. You just put me onto some information I never knew.
Okay, what about you?
Yes, my last relationship.
Wow, and she went there. Okay.
I was in it for a while, and I always thought about.
SZA.
No. I don't have, unfortunately, and I really say unfortunately, I've never had a lot of fuck buddies. And
okay.
I wish now that I'm older, genuinely, like now that I know more about sexuality, I wish I would have just had more sex, literally.
Okay.
Without strings. But sex is very emotional, and I didn't learn to have unemotional sex ever.
True.
Like for pleasure. Let me rephrase that, for pleasure. Pleasure is an emotion, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so my last relationship, I had horrible sex the whole relationship, and I used to constantly think about one of the only fuck buddies I ever had.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the initials of the fuck buddy?
KS.
Shout out to Caitlin, man. We miss you, man. We can't wait to see you again. I just
KS.
And you got to put a question in there.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for paying attention, for listening, for joining us. Hala, I want to thank you because this is well overdue. And
y'all, I begged this nigga to be on this podcast.
Well, you're here now, and we're glad that you're here. We want to thank y'all for listening. I think this is episode 94 or 93. I don't fucking know anymore. We almost at 100, and we hope everybody tunes into the next episode. We're gonna holler at y'all next